I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Welcome to the meeting of the Hunterdon Central Regional High School Board of Education. Please be advised that this meeting and all meetings of the board are open to the public and the media, consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, and that advance notice required therein has been provided. Meeting notice was also posted in the boardroom of the upper school campus, sent to the Courier News, Star Ledger, Express Times, and the Hunterdon County Democrat, and sent to the clerks of Delaware Township, East Amwell Township, Flemington Borough, Raritan Township, and Reddington Township. The public will have an opportunity to be heard as shown on the agenda. May I have a flag salute, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dr. Charney, Mr. Davidson.
Here.
Mrs. Hughes.
Here.
Mrs. Kellogg.
Here.
Dr. Nguyen.
Here.
Mr. Nickel.
Here.
Mr. Richard.
Here.
Mrs. O'Donnell. And Mr. Panico. I'd like to make a motion to open the floor to nominate a member to preside over tonight's meeting in the absence of our board president and vice president, please.
So we're one nomination for Lisa Hughes. Okay.
Are there any others? May I have a motion to close the floor?
So moved.
And a motion to approve Mrs. Hughes to preside over tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hughes?
Abstain.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. Nickel?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Hughes.
Thank you, Mrs. Spitzer. Can I have a motion, please, for approval of the minutes from the September 20th, 2021 meeting, please?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Motion passes. Oh.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. Nickel?
Yes.
And Mr. Richard?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mrs. Spitzer. We have a student council report. Elena, are you here to?
So I think we have Elena and Kalia, right? Yeah, come on down, guys. Hi.
Hi, good evening.
Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Elena, and with me is Kalia, and we're sophomores. So we are very glad to be here presenting at our second in-person Board of Education meeting this year. I feel so grateful that we can meet face-to-face again tonight. We had several major events this month. October 1st was our Pink Out football game where we sold caps for cancer. Caps were $10 and profits were donated to cancer research associations.
On Wednesday, October 13th, we had a half day where freshmen took the PSAT and seniors took the Science Start Strong assignment. While other students completed astronauts work, juniors had their class picture taken and sophomores learned about HIV, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Later in the week, on Saturday, October 16th, sophomores and juniors took the PSAT and National Merit Scholarship qualifying tests. We had a home football game on October 22nd, which was homecoming. The student council sold masks, the devil t-shirts inspired by Dr. Moore.
For the week leading up to the game, each day had a different theme. Monday was Pajama Day, Tuesday was Favorite Movie Character Day, Wednesday was Decade Day, where freshmen had to dress in the fashion of the 2000s, sophomores had the 90s, juniors the 80s, seniors the 70s, and staff had the 1920s. Thursday was Anything But a Backpack Day, and Friday was Central Gear. Juniors managed to pull ahead the sophomores and win the entire Spirit Week. The homecoming dance was on October 22nd, and it was outside on the grass under a tent. For all the students, I'm sure for the parents involved as well, participating in these events makes us feel part of this wonderful school community.
We would like to congratulate the boys and girls soccer team who won the Hunterdon Warren Sussex Championship on October 23rd. The Thespian Theater Society had a performance in town in Stangle Factory. On October 25th, which is today, tryouts were held for the 9th and 10th grade play. This year, the play is Clue, which is based on the board game and movie. I thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Thank you.
We have 3 pieces of correspondence on the agenda tonight. They're listed on the agenda there. And Dr. Moore, your superintendent report.
Thank you, and thank you, Mrs. Hughes, for presiding tonight unexpectedly. But I appreciate Kalia and Elena. Thank you both for your report tonight, and I just want to share it was a really wonderful Spirit Week that everybody put together. Mr. Brandt and his team working with student council and your advisors, Ms. Panzita and others, just fantastic stuff this year, and there was a lot of excitement. And I want to share the Anything But a Backpack Day. It was our first time doing that, and so it was really neat to see everybody excited at the end of the day talking about, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see the kayak? Did you see? So it was really, really amazing energy on campus throughout the week. Really pleased with everybody's participation and everybody's interest in the week. In fact, our operations manager, Mr. Thornton, who works out of Heather's office back here, came to me and said, "Oh, that's Anything But a Backpack Day. That was pretty cool, wasn't it, Dr. Moore?" And I said, "Yeah, it was really neat. The students were really into it. It was really interesting. It was really fun." And from an operations, janitorial, custodial, maintenance kind of perspective, he said, "We're not ever going to do that again, are we, Dr. Moore?" And I said, "We probably are. We probably." So it was a really interesting day. I do have to say, my own children in another high school have a similar day this week, but they have all kinds of rules for what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So we might have to look at that next year, Mr. Brandt, and see if we can learn something. But it was an incredible day. Switching gears a little bit, we have some celebration to do tonight, and I don't have much more in the way of a report tonight. We did a lot of presentation and reporting at our last meeting this month. I do have some updated HIB and suspension numbers on the agenda tonight as part of my monthly HIB and suspension report. This changes from meeting to meeting as we get more incidents. I also have 3 HIBs in a motion for the board to affirm tonight. My recommendation to affirm them, we presented these in closed session last time. We are watching the weather tonight. I just do want to share. I'm not terribly concerned, although the weather reports do feel, they do evoke a little bit of what we went through in the beginning of the school year with some of the storms and weather that we had at the beginning of September. However, I just do want to remind that our situation is very different right now. We were coming out of, when Ida hit us, we were coming out of in the prior week or two, we had a lot of rain, and so the ground was fairly saturated. That's not the case here today. And I also see the forecast is really putting all of this more easterly for us. I'm not anticipating it's going to impact us tomorrow, though we do have the governor having declared a state of emergency tonight. But that doesn't impact us directly. That just allows for different things to happen in terms of emergency response. It doesn't mean anything really for our bus fleet or our operations. But we'll keep an eye. Tonight, I do have some congratulations to offer, and I see that we have 2 students here tonight. So I have Jay Weeder is a newly minted Eagle Scout, right? So let me come down and talk a little bit about Jay. I'm going to come down to the... So Jay, Jay became an Eagle Scout with his troop after, I guess, a very strange year. Everything that we did over the past year was very strange. But from what I understand, he was instrumental in keeping everything going in his troop by having outdoor meetings and just conducting the troop through all of that in a way that maintained their engagement and kept everybody going. And Jay, why don't you tell the board a little bit about the Eagle Scout project you did and any of the other work? Look at all those merit badges he's got.
All right, so my project was I tried to create a more welcoming environment in Reddington Middle School's courtyard. So I wanted to welcome like more students, the new students, and the staff to have like a more enjoyable place to eat lunch and stuff. So I started off by pulling a ton of weeds, mulching, power washing the stone pavers, tables, and I painted the tables also. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help from my scouts and other people that came to help me. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that helped.
Well, thank you, Jay. So Jay, we have a certificate for you to put this on your fridge at home. It's not anything compared to the badge that you get, but it's a nice memento, and congratulations from the board for your accomplishment.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this year we're fortunate also to have 2 PSAT National Merit Scholarship semifinalists. And I think I see Amon back there, right? Come on down, Amon. Amon Sabawi is one of our 2 PSAT National Merit Scholarship semifinalists. We also have Alan Yu, who couldn't be with us tonight. I don't see Alan. But I would just want to share a little bit as Amon comes down. We have, the PSAT that our juniors take, sophomores and juniors can take. Over almost 2 million students across the country take this exam. And it's a good predictor for SAT performance. It's a good diagnostic for us. We get a lot of good information out of the PSAT that helps our own program. But what's important about an accomplishment like this is less than 1% of students taking this test across the country score at a level that enrolls them into candidacy for the National Merit Scholarship. So Amon's one of the semifinalists, so he'll move on to be considered for the National Merit Scholarship, which is usually conferred in the spring, February, March or so. There's a whole application he has to do that we're going to support him on. I know without, is that your father back there?
Yes.
Yeah, without mom and dad, is mom there too? Without mom and dad, this is, and for Jay as well, your family as well. The support of folks at home makes this, all the more possible for our students to achieve so much in class and outside of school. So tell us a little bit, besides your family, what do you attribute all your success to here at Hunterdon Central? I'm putting you on the spot.
Didn't really have anything thought out.
That's
but
all right.
I think that it has been a very helpful environment, and I think that I've always been able to ask anyone for help here, and that way I haven't really felt overwhelmed, and I've been able to put enough effort into things that aren't necessarily classes.
Excellent, good. Well, so for not having something thought out, I'm touched, and I'm gratified to hear you speak about it in that way. So here we have a certificate for you as well, with congratulations for your success, and good luck on the next steps of that. So thank you. So it's been, I've discovered for myself, and I've been sharing this with folks around me, discovered for myself that if I get stuck in my office all day and I don't get a chance to interact with folks throughout campus, I end up having a pretty awful evening. And so I've been really appreciative this year and really wanting to mark gratitude as much as I can for the opportunity that we have this year for everybody to be in school. I want to thank you all for your support, not only in helping us open for full day, all day, every day with all of our students this year, but also for all that you helped us do last year to get as close to that as we could under the restrictions. We remain hopeful. We are watching as the pandemic numbers seem to be improving, but we also note that we've been working through still some significant challenges this year and have met with a lot of success in getting everybody into school and running as normal a school day as possible with events like our homecoming events and all of those things. So I'm very grateful for tonight, for all that we've been able to do, and just always happy to celebrate the successes of our students in that way. On here as well, let's see if I have anything else. I do also want to note we have Students of the Month. I don't think they're listed here, but we'll make sure. Oh, they are? Where are they? Oh, thank you. Okay, so our Students of the Month, too, we've been able to return to that program with in-person meetings, and we had great conversations with our Students of the Month about their experience this year. Mr. Brand and I learned an awful lot from them as we chat with them. That's a real opportunity for us to get to know what's on everybody's mind, so I appreciate those opportunities as well. So they're listed there as well. And then we'll have Staff of the Month on our next agenda, where we tend to be a month behind on that announcement on the board agenda. So with that, Mrs. Hughes, I am finished with my report with just the one motion. I do have actually on organizational items under G, we have our board goals that I presented on last meeting, and those are here for your approval tonight as well. So we have a HIB motion for you to consider, and then after public comment, we have the organizational items around our goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Can I have a motion under subsection E, Dr. Moore's report, to affirm the 3 HIBs listed in the agenda?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, Ms. Spitzer?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Wynn? Yes. Mr. Nichol?
Abstain?
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our first residents forum. This is the opportunity for residents to come speak for a maximum of 5 minutes on any items on the agenda. There will be a second opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting for items off the agenda. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the organizational item that Dr. Moore just mentioned. We have our board goals. Can I have a motion, please, to move our board and district goals?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, Ms. Spitzer?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Wynn? Yes. Mr. Nichol?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mrs. Spitzer. We'll move on to our committee reports, which we discussed at our workshop meeting. Mr. Richard, are there any updates in student life and programs?
There's been no update since our last meeting when the entire agenda was presented in detail. So unless there are any other questions from, comments from the board, I'd like to move on these items. Okay, so seeing none, I'd like to move for approval tonight. Tuition, she's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 from the Student Life Committee.
And do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Nichol. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, Ms. Spitzer?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Wynn? Yes. Mr. Nichol?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mrs. Spitzer. Operations and Transportation, Mr. Nichol, do we have any updates from the workshop meeting?
We have a second reading on the petty cash policy, number 6620. And with that, I'd like to move items I1 through I8.
We have a motion?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Wynn? Yes. Mr. Nichol?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
All yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Personnel, Dr. Moore, do you want to go through the personnel items?
Yeah, we have a couple of quick updates to the personnel section. We have, let me just get oriented to the actual motion here. We have, let's see, in number 7, we have a change to Joanne Tenor's resignation effective date. And we also have a change to number 5, a date change for the leave of absence for employee on line number 2 there. Just a date change to the effective dates of the leave of absence. Those are the only 2 changes to the agenda items from last time.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. With that, I'd like to move J1 through J7 under the personnel section.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mrs. Kellogg?
Yes.
Dr. Nguyen? Mr. Nichol?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hughes?
Yes.
Oh, yes, motion carries.
And additional business. Does anybody have any additional board business that they would like to discuss? Hearing none, we'll move on to our second residence forum, which is about anything on or off the agenda. If you'd like to come speak, please come up and have 5 minutes. Hearing none, we will move on to executive session.
So do we have board comments section? I wanted to say 1 or 2 quick
Oh,
things.
correct, yes. Dr. Moore, board comments.
So with the passage of our school and board goals tonight, there's quite an agenda of work there that I'm thankful to be able to do with the folks who I work with every day and also with you as we look at equity policy, as we look at ensuring new or developing new metrics and ensuring good structures in our school to guarantee equity of access and close gaps and disproportionalities in our school. It's brave work, it's important and necessary work, and again, I'm thankful tonight for the opportunity to be able to do that here in this district with the folks that we have here. Wouldn't want to go to bat to do this work with any other group of folks than we have here at Hunterdon Central. So thank you for your support of those goals tonight, and we look forward to presenting on our progress as we move forward.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. I'd like now to move into executive session to discuss personnel, I know. Anything else?
So we have Hibbs,
Hibbs.
personnel, and negotiations tonight.
Can I have a motion, please, to convene into executive session to discuss?
So moved.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I only need about 20 minutes for my portion of the agenda. If you have
We
other
probably need maybe 15 or so, I would think.
Okay. Any action? No action.
There was
afterwards?
no action to be
Okay.
taken.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we'll go to room 700 as we usually do. Thank you.